Well, there's only me here, so can't do a sound or a vision check. Maybe it's time for some more coffee. Cheers. For all of you that... oh, I need to have a drink, don't I? It's a little bit cold. Oh, we've got somebody on board. It's Killswitch BB. Good morning, Killswitch. Your sticker's on the way, by the way. It is. We got them all out this week. But I'll wait to tell everybody when everybody turns up, because it looks to me like everybody's a bit late this morning. Either that or I'm really early. Am I early? I don't know. No, I'm bang on, which is a miracle. So what have you been up to? I'll tell you what I've been up to a bit later on. Killswitch, what have you been doing this week? Oh, we've got some more. Here we go, look. John Tyson, good day from Oz. Killswitch BB, hello, hello, hello. That sounds like the French, that takeoff of the, what was it? What was it? Hello, hello, wasn't it, on TV? That was cool. Jim K, hello, Andy. Good morning, Jim. Good to have you back on board again. And thanks for those photos earlier in the week. Yeah, it looks an awesome machine. It really does. So let me kick things off for this Sunday morning live stream. And to be perfectly honest, it almost didn't happen. Had an extremely busy week, getting some more of the fabrication work done on those brackets, and there'll be an update on that. The plan was to have them all finished yesterday, and that plan would have succeeded if there hadn't been another human involved that messed things up for me again. Honestly, it's been quite a saga. I purchased a cutoff saw, a Makita Cutoff Saw, which is just over there, look, on the hoist. There you are, look. And the plan was to use that. I know it's not ideal, but I was trying to keep the costs down and trying to speed the job up, so it was a little bit less labor intensive. To use that to cut out the notches on these brackets. Can I get one without destroying everything? I don't know. Here we go. Look. Right. Oh. On these, there's two of these make up one brace, so to speak, and they have to have these really neat little cutouts here. Look. Now, this is the rear brace, and these are about, I think these are about 9 mil deep. And then the front brace, which sits, I don't know, about 20 mil, in actual fact, it fits 10 millimeters. Forwards a 10 mil gap between the two. That one has a 13 millimeter notch cut into it. Now, there's 14 pairs of these braces, so that's 28 plates, and each one's got 2 notches. So you can do the maths. It's, you know, pretty labor intensive. So previously, I'd mark out the notch, attack it with the angle grinder, and then tidy it up with a file. Very, very labor intensive. Not a problem if you're only making a couple of sets, but when you're making as many as this, and there's potentially going to be more in the future, you know, you've got to consider your time and you've got to work efficiently. Otherwise, you can't get anything else done, to be honest. I'm just looking at Mrs. Mechanic's paintwork. Fortunately, it's only the primer. And the primer we used, and I was amazed. And this isn't because, you know, Forge support the channel, Jared. It's not. There's quite a lot of painting going on here, and the primer stuff that we use for the first time ever is the L239 from Forge. Look at that. Okay, and you've seen what the finish is like. And I think I probably bought 6 or 7 of these cans. This is the 3rd can, and this has just been started. So essentially, all those brackets, all the little sub brackets, we'll have a little wander around in a minute. All of those have really been painted just using 2 cans. I can't believe it, honestly. Very, very impressed, because, you know, it's not cheap paint. Don't get me wrong, it isn't. It's not cheap. It's actually quite expensive, but it's premium quality. And again, it dries pretty quick. So Mrs. Mechanic was able to run, you know, get everything painted in one afternoon, which was great. Well, I say nearly everything. I was still cutting out notches at 8 o'clock last night, so there's a few still to paint. Anyway, Machine NZ, morning Andy, morning Machine NZ. Just a quick update for everybody that asked for a Tool Girl Holley toolbox sticker. They are in the post. Cost me a fortune to send them all over the world, but hey, small price to pay for such loyal and dedicated viewers. That was a good little thing, wasn't it? So yeah, they're all in the post. They've gone obviously airmail, and they're in an envelope with a bit of cardboard. Do me a favor, when they turn up, and hopefully they will, When they turn up, stick it on your toolbox or wherever and send me a photo, be it a selfie or just a picture of your toolbox with a sticker on. Would be really cool because I'm tempted. I might even use a few of those photos in the new intro video for the videos for the YouTube channel, or maybe the credits section at the end. I don't quite know where I'm going to use them yet, but I'm very tempted to use them. So if you want to make your toolbox famous, that's the way to do it. So where are we? Daz323323. Cheers, Andy. Sticker turned up on Friday. Many thanks. That's great. So there you go. You can send me a picture through with it fully installed, and make sure you give your toolbox a little bit of a clean before you put it on, because you want it to stick on properly and last forever. Mike Bosansky. Good afternoon from Virginia. Good afternoon, Mike. Simon Rawle is out of bed, or should I say evening over there. Good morning, evening, Simon. Good to have you on board, sir. MG. Morning, Andy. Good morning, MG. Now, Kenneth McBride. Good afternoon, Andy, here in Bristol. TN, where's that? Tennessee? Is TN Tennessee? Could be. John Dyer. Hi, Andy. I'm on time today. Hurry! Well, I actually was way on time, believe it or not. I didn't think I was going to make it out of bed. I woke up about 4 o'clock, and then I woke up again at 6 and tried a bit more of a snooze, and I finally peeled myself out of bed about 10 to 7, so it wasn't too bad. Got outside, been watching some the start of a new series by Obsession Motorsport. Bad Obsession Motorsport. Their YouTube channel have just started to build a little tiny race car. So I'm looking forward to watching that series. Should be good. And I'm definitely going to watch a bit of it today. But no, the reason why I am probably looking a little bit more knackered than normal for a Sunday morning is on Friday night, we had aliens in the village. We did. We had aliens. They turned up during the day. I got home about 6:30, I think it was, on Friday evening. I'd just come back down from Auckland. I've got 2 ROVs on the trailer to start doing the undersealing on, so that whole project now is just rolling out. Fortunately, I've had a couple more weeks to get other stuff done before it kicks off. Anyway, by 8:30, the village had its own sort of live concert, music at least. It was ridiculously loud. There was heaps of people. There were cars scattered all over the village green, all relating to this particular party. And very hard to get to sleep that night. Kept waking up. It was really loud, to be honest. Didn't make a complaint because, let's face it, I make a lot of noise. Not at 3 o'clock in the morning, to be fair, but I make a lot of noise. But just put up with it because it's just not worth the hassle. Woke up in the morning. It's still going. The booming is still going. There's people still awake. There's weed smell blasting across the whole of the village. Obviously, they've got the bongs and stuff fired up. And it just kept going. And it wasn't until yesterday afternoon that they all decided to bugger off back home. To be honest, not very thoughtful for the rest of the village population. Townies, no doubt, that have infiltrated the barracks. And hopefully they won't come back for a while. Yeah, but no, I didn't sleep very well, so I was a bit grumpy Saturday morning. And it only got worse. My Saturday morning just fell apart, to be honest. And let me explain to you why. So I got the cutoff saw, and it comes with a Makita cutting disc, an abrasive disc, which is about, I think it's about 2.5 mil wide, something like a pretty standard kind of cutting disc. But I'd ordered wider ones. I'd ordered a 4mm cutting disc because I wasn't really cutting, I was grinding out the notches. And the plan was just to set the depth, or at least score it on the steel, and then just move the workpiece across and take out and chomp out the slot and tidy it up with I've got that little finger file that I bought. So I've opened it all up. Great, no problem. We'll swap the discs. And hang on a second, I can't quite reach. I will name the lad because he's been super helpful, and this isn't a complaint because things go wrong Josh very kindly, in fact, we'll start with the good stuff first. Josh very, very kindly, in the box, put me a pair of Makita socks. Look at those. I wonder how often you've got to recharge them. But anyway, they look really cool. So I've got some Makita socks. Thank you, Josh. He also put in some kind of minty, chocky biscuit things, which I'm not really a fan of mint chocolate biscuits. So I gave those to Mrs. Mechanic because she really likes that kind of stuff. So we were on a roll. The Saturday morning was picking up, you know. But when I came to put the disc in, the hole's too small, Josh. I left a message on your answer phone. This is a 20mm center. So I'm there looking around the box thinking, oh, he obviously hasn't made a mistake. Maybe there's an interchangeable boss that you can change on the spindle to use a different size center. Nope. And if we look through the specifications, where is it? Hole diameter. There you go, look. What is it? 25.4mm. Considerably larger than 20mm. So, fail. Oh, I've got too much stuff going on. Hang on. So, after waiting an extended period of time for this cutoff saw to turn up, couldn't really use it. So I thought, hey, no worries. It came with a disc. I know it's thinner than what I plan to use. Let's just see if it's going to work. So I did the first one on that. It was all right. It wasn't great. It was reasonably quick. Accuracy was okay. Problem was, because it's such a large disc and it was quite thin, when you try to cut another cut adjacent to what you've already cut out, the disc will try and slide across and go into the original groove. So it was putting essentially a thrust on the disc. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. Cutting discs shouldn't have a thrust put on them. It usually leads to disaster, well, an explosion and then disaster, and the discs all over your workshop. So I aborted mission on that. I'll come back to the comments in a minute, chaps. So I had to make something, and I didn't put it on the thumbnail because, you know, spoiler alert and all that. So let me show you what I made, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely perfect for the job without spending a ton of money. Let me just unplug you from the world. Well, from the mains at least. There we go. Put that over there because that needs to go back in. Right, we're going to turn you around. Hopefully you won't go away. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Okay. Right, we've got all sorts going on. Oh, look at this. Simply Diagnostics. Stronger together. Brilliant. Right, this is what I made. So my new grinder turned up with the correct button. It certainly had an induction. It was working flat out all day yesterday. And I must admit, it's 1700 watts. It's a bloody good job I bought one that powerful because, you know, for this particular job, it excelled. It really did, but there was quite a lot of pressure put on it. So I basically made this. It just bolts to the bench. It's only actually held on with one bolt. I never actually put the second bolt in. And it's made out of some pretty sturdy stuff that I found kicking around. And this is the worktop. So basically, the piece goes on here. You line your notch up and you go, and then it's done. And then you move it along and do the next one. And I did all of those notches on that one disc. It was a new disc at the start. And it's probably worn down, I don't know, a third of the material's gone. Now, some of you may say, hey, Andy, that doesn't look particularly safe. There's a huge gap all the way around your disc. Why have you done that? Well, originally I didn't. You might see these little score lines just here, look. Originally, I cut a slot just wide enough for the disc, plus maybe a mil either side. But when grinding out the material, a large burr developed at the back, especially if I was sort of rushing it hard. The melted metal would peel over and you get a burr on the back. And that caused a problem, basically working the piece, because it started to ride up on my nice little sort of flat top here. And it wasn't really, you know, sat correctly. So by cutting that out that much, for this particular job was perfect, because it meant that the workpiece stayed nice and flat on the perch, I suppose you'd call that, wouldn't you? Yeah. But no, very, very pleased with it. It worked out really well. We used a bit of sort of stainless pipe with some bolts on it to clamp the grinder. And then up here, look, it actually bolts directly to where your little hand grip goes. So it's very accurate, it doesn't go anywhere. And of course, it's almost like I planned this. The paddle switch would not work in this application. So yet again, another benefit of the old school on-off switch. It's brilliant. It's almost like I knew what was going to happen. But no, very, very happy with that. So hello, YouTube. Right, let's take you. Oh, hang on. We'll have a little wander around and we'll show you what we've been doing. So this is the current stage. You're very fortunate to see them in this particular stage because they were supposed to all be painted black by last night. So they are pretty much all done. All the little brackets are done. They're all painted up in primer. But nice and dry. These ones, I think these need another side doing. Yes, they do. They are. Look, you see. So she's just done one side of those. They were the last ones to get done last night. So she's still got a little bit of work to do on there. She's going to be painting all day today. Old Mrs. Mechanic. She worked very, very hard yesterday. I'm going to have to, I don't know, buy her a Kit Kat or something to thank her for it because she's done a great job. And even the little spaces around here, oh my word, ingenious way of painting these. We just put them on top of a little bolt look. Pretty cool. So they're all painted up. Again, they just need the black gloss put it on. And everybody's happy. We've got Jared's buggy there, look, out of the rain now. So it's another project. So many projects. What's next? Well, actually, we can move on. We can move on to the next bit. We'll do a few comments first, though, because you know, I've said a lot, and it's sort of your turn to say stuff. That's how conversations work, isn't it? It's not about me just blatting on for hours on end. So it's nice that you guys slow down on the comments a bit when we're doing a walkabout because it makes it a bit easier for me. Jim K. Quality materials make all the difference in how well a job goes. Yeah. This has got to be right, you know, these kind of projects, and I do spend a lot of time. I mean, a lot of those, all of those slots, those little, you know, slots I've been cutting out, they've all been finished off by hand, well, manually with a file, and then just a quick dress with the power file, the little finger file that I got, the Makita. The initial plan was to use the finger file to do all the cleaning up. Man, you can't put much pressure on them, can you? You know, that it really is for sort of the very delicate work. Otherwise, you just snap the little belt. The belt's only 9mm wide. And I think I got through 2 on the first pair. And I'm like, I haven't got enough belts at this rate. I'm going to have to revert to manual filing just to sort of get everything, all the big chunks out and get it all level. And then just use the power file just to tidy it up and get the corners real sharp, you know, because some box section sits inside that. It actually goes up against 2 box section rails, horizontal rails. Yeah, so there you go. All about that, Jim. You got to do a good job, otherwise everybody gets upset with you. Machine NZ got my sticker on Friday. Thanks a lot. Cheers, Machine NZ. Now, Machine NZ, I think you said you were going to send me some stickers. I went to the PO box the other day in Auckland, and there was only just 2 letters there. So, fingers crossed they're going to turn up because I want to get them put on the old cabinet because there's only a limited space. First come, first serve. Nick Harrow, good afternoon from Cupertino, California. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. It's almost like cup of tea. No. Cup of tea? No. There you go. Let you see. Don't like tea. Well, actually, I do drink tea now and again. John Tyson, BOM. Gutted they haven't produced another Project Benki video. Yeah, I don't know why. They keep saying it's COVID, but at least they've got a series going again. That's the important thing. Connor K. Good morning, Andy. What's that say? Bom dia. Oh, bom dia. So good day from Portugal. I think bom means good. Simon Roll. I've been watching C90 Adventures. They're riding Alaska to Argentina on a Honda C90. Now that would be right up my street. They do have here in New Zealand, once a year, or they used to do, you buy yourself a 50cc moped, scooter, call it what you like, and you get to ride all the way from Auckland round the Coromandel and stuff as a big group. Looks great fun. Did fancy doing that one day. I think you can do it on, I think it's 50cc's. Although postie bikes spring to mind, they're 110cc. So maybe it's limited to 125. I don't know. Or maybe it's just scooter-looking bikes. But yeah, that would be really cool. I did get invited a few years ago to go and do it, but never quite got around to it. The service manager at the old Red Baron in Auckland, James, he knew all about it. I think he's done it a few times. He was from London, and real nice chap. Unfortunately, Red Baron's closed down now. Unfortunately, the Wellington branch closed down a few years ago, and the one in Auckland closed down about 2 years ago, I think it was. Anyway, things move on. VR6 Caddy, good evening. Good evening, VR6 Caddy. Jim K, did you get your new Metaboo grinder? I did. It was a very dodgy meetup in Tokoroa on Friday night on my way back down from Auckland. Leslie, very nice lady, took time out. Fortunately, she lives in that area, so she took time out on her way home to meet up with me, and I collected the grinder, which is right here at the moment. I've got to disassemble that now because I finished using it. And she brought the cutoff saw as well, and she brought me oh yes, here we go. You see, people ask me the questions and it reminds me of stuff. Hang on a second. So for the cleaning up of these brackets, I didn't want to use 80 grit because it does, if you're not careful, it can break through the hard scale, and then you end up grinding all the hard scale off, and we really didn't want to go down that route. So I got some 120 grit flat discs. Okay, based on what we were discussing last week, what can you not see on that flap disc? If Jared's watching this, he always watches my Sunday morning live streams. Jared's going to be laughing his head off. So not only does it not have any indication, and I can't see even on the text, any indication of an expiry date, which it should have, because we discussed about the bonding breaks down over time. It doesn't even tell you where it's made. Now, clearly they don't want you to find out because, you know, it's probably some back and beyond place where if they did tell you, you'd be very dubious about the quality. Mrs. Mechanic, it was partly her own fault. She did, when she was cleaning up these, she caught, she puts the piece in the vise, she caught one of the slots on the edge of the disc, but it exploded. It went all over the workshop. She was very scared actually, but fortunately the Makita rechargeable grinder that she uses has one of those auto stop functions. If it senses something jamming, it puts the brake on and stops it dead. And it worked brilliantly. It did. By the time she even realized what was happening, the grinder had already stopped. So a really good feature, to be honest. Really, it definitely, you know, potentially saved her from hurting herself. But yeah, there's no date stamp. I mean, they did the job. They're okay, but you can tell these are cheap discs. But it's the only brand they had in stock of the 120 grit. So what do? You just get what you can. I mean, I suppose I could have got some from up in Auckland while I was there, but all the order was planned to arrive, a fair few days earlier. Never happened. Anyway, have a drink. So where did we get to? Jim K, did you get the menu? Yes, I did, and it's brilliant. 1,700 watts of pure power. VR6 Caddy, I should have said evening all, as I've got some crap on my screen. Dixon of Doc Green used to say, for all the English mature folk in here. Good evening all. Evening all. Jim Haynes, sort can't be live tonight at Natural Bridge. Oh, sorry, can't be at the live tonight at Natural Bridge Speedway in Virginia for our twin 20 lap. I'm deciphering this because it's a few typos. Sprint car races, but back next week. No problem, Jim. You have a great time there at the raceway, and good luck. Hopefully, you'll get over the finish line first. And I think I've pretty much caught up. Jim K, no date. Correct. You are absolutely correct, Jim. There is no date. And talking of dates, I don't know if you noticed before. honestly, it's like my little pet hate at the moment. It really is. But when you know, it's like when you buy another car or another motorbike and you go on the road and you go, nobody's got one of these, and you buy one and then you see them all over the place. Okay, dates. Yes, remember these that we talked about only, I don't know, 20 minutes ago? So these were sent down, and I believe that's the date, 2018. So these are already 2 years outside their expiry. What, 2.5 years? So they're going to go back anyway because they've got the wrong hole in the middle. Geez, I really need to get some more benches in here. Mind you, saying that, when Mrs. Mechanic was spraying yesterday, she had a lot of the little, the new trolleys out to use as little benches, and she was like little satellites of spray booths all over the workshop. It was great, and that was me grinding away, covering her paint in grinding dust. It'll be a lot better when the carport's done, because we're going to put some sheeting that we can roll down and make it into a little spray booth, you know, keep all the bugs and stuff out and dust and things. But it'll be a lot better than spraying in the workshop. I don't want to be spraying in here because it makes everything go the colour you're spraying, to be honest. It takes ages to clean it all up. I am really knackered. I'm really tired now. I've been looking forward to this though. Duke of the Dales. Good morning, Duke of the Dales. Right, I've caught up with the comments. Coffee is well and truly cold, and yes, Steve's mug. Honestly, brilliant. What a team. Yes, so you might have gathered on the hoist behind me is Tool Girl Holly's farm bike. And I have some great news. Tool Girl Holley, and for those of you who don't know who Tool Girl Holley is, well, first of all, please reprimand yourself. Then secondly, there is Tool Girl Holley looking at her finest. Now, we do actually regularly receive comments, you know, discussing the safety and the clothing of tool girls in the workshop. And, you know, I have addressed these over time to try and make sure that the tool girls are always kept safe. And you've got to remember that, you know, like on a film set or a studio, there's a lot more going on than what you actually see on camera. You know, I mean, for example, when Claude Van Damme or Triple X do something crazy, you know, they've got a team of paramedics in the background and doctors and emergency crew and all that kind of thing. Well, obviously they're all around as well. You just don't get to see it. And people seem to, you know, assume that's not the case. The millions of dollars are spent for every single episode made on the Andy Mechanic. They're not really. But seriously, I do take this into account. And somebody said, hey, not particularly happy about the kind of footwear that Tool Girl Holley is wearing in the workshop. Now, obviously, they didn't realize that there are advantages to that. The current footwear that she's got has got a great wipe down surface, so any oil spillages can be easily wiped away and doesn't soak into the footwear, which would then get onto her skin. It doesn't happen. Also, with the additional elevations, you can easily reach things from the shelves around the workshop and not have to use steps. And you know how many accidents occur on steps these days. Just look at the stats. Horrendous. I think climbing a set of steps to get something down, you know, from a shelf is probably on a par to pulling wheelies on motorcycles. So many people get injured doing that. Anyway, I have taken this seriously, and she's got an alternative pair of boots to wear. She has. Would you like to see them? Would you like to see them? Yeah, of course you would. Right, here we go. Okay, so obviously taking the whole thing very seriously, and the fact that the boots are they're obviously safety boots, and they're quite durable and they're very thick material. You know, the more of her body that's covered in those kind of boots, the safer she is, obviously, because, you know, impacts and that kind of stuff, they're pretty resilient for it. So she's now got, for whenever she wants them, another pair of boots to wear, but these ones go to just below the knees. So I think that's a definite improvement. I'm sure she'll be very happy when she sees those. She doesn't know about them yet. So we'll have to just wait and see. Obviously, we'll test them thoroughly in all bodily positions to make sure that she's fully they're comfy and fully functional, and they don't impede movement in any way. Honestly, this is all unscripted. It's great, isn't it? Okay, where are we? No dates, money Andy. Jim K, did you change settings? The video quality is very good. I didn't, Jim. It's all done by the phone. I'm just the layman here. I just go on to my YouTube channel. It goes, do you want to do a live stream? So I click on live stream. I put in a title. I then go through to monetization and turn monetization on. I've already taken a picture for the thumbnail. I upload that and I go click live. That's it. That's all I have to do. If I try and do a live stream on my laptop, then you've got to go through some weird kind of portal thing. If you do it off your phone, it's dead easy. It really is. I do like it. And that's why I have my phone for transmitting for the camera. And I use the laptop just to watch to see what's going on and read the comments. And it seems to work pretty well. There's been a few. Hang on. Bear with me. VR6 Caddy. I find the best angle grinding and cutting discs I've used are 3M Cubitron 2. Okay, let me take a picture of that. Honestly, I'm so old school at the moment. I feel really old now. Don't go away, don't go away. There we go. Right. I know the 3M rep very well, Peter in Auckland. He's the guy that sorts us out with all the underseal, which I'll be using either later on today or tomorrow. I'm probably going to try and put it off till tomorrow. I've still got the vehicles to strip and everything today, and I'm beat, to be honest. I really am. The last thing I want to do is be clambering under vehicles, spraying underseal today. I'll give those a try. I'll ask him for a few samples, and we'll give them a try, because if they're good, and I'm pretty sure they will be, then maybe we'll use those. Simon Roll, top tip: don't grind next to a UPVC window. Makes a right mess of the glass. Yeah. I used to do a lot of welding repairs and stuff on the little Suzuki Jeeps that we had in the UK. And there was one. In fact, the worst time was I made a big full length. It wasn't just a roof rack, it was like a roof cage thing. It was had sides to it, and we put mesh in there and everything, and we could put our ropes in it. And then when it rained, the rain cleaned the ropes. You got all the mud off the ropes again, ready for next time round. It was actually really good. But I did do some spot welding, some tack welding in situ to get everything in the right place, and then take it off and weld it up proper. And like a complete donkey, and this was many, many, many years ago, so I was still learning at the time. There was obviously blobs of molten metal had bounced off down the windscreen, and some of them had actually stuck to the glass. So you can guess, for years and years and years, the old wiper blades had a very difficult time keeping the screen clean, because it just is destroying wiper blades. I used a razor blade or a Stanley knife blade to try and just flick out most of it. We sort of got all the steel out, but it did still deform the glass. You're right, Simon. Don't grind near glass or anything like that. I nearly set the bin on fire the other day. John Tyson, can't see a pie warmer in there yet. No, sorry, John. It's going to happen. It is, but no, it hasn't happened just yet. And I haven't even got a pie this morning. I'm so disorganized, and I'm also quite hungry. Dos Motos. Hey, Burry, say hi to Rio de Janeiro. I think he means hey, buddy. So, hey, buddy, say hi to Rio de Janeiro. There you go. So, hi, Rio de Janeiro. I can't pronounce it properly. I'm Yorkshire. Michael O'Keefe. Where's all the lovely ladies gone? Well, Tool Girl Holly is coming back to film on Friday evening, bringing her back from Auckland. She's booked in at a local hotel for 2 nights. How lucky is that? Honestly, all expenses paid. And we're going to be filming all day Saturday and all day Sunday. And that's why her bike is on the hoist. This is the old farm bike, the DR200, that is Tool Girl Holly's project bike. And a great segue. Thank you for that, actually. I want to go through and make sure I've got all the parts. One thing I did forget to do, though, was find the list of faults. And I was going to compare the parts, the list of faults. And it could be anywhere. It really could be anywhere. Although I might have just spotted it. Give me 1 second. Very unprofessional. You can admire the view for a second. Hang on. Holy crap. Bear with me. I think you can just watch, actually, because I'm trying to find it. It could be anywhere. This is my... this is all my stuff that I've kept from over the years. And I did throw a lot of stuff out not too long ago. Nope. These are all like designs and stuff. Oh, look at that. You've got VIN numbers and stuff of all the bikes. Shouldn't really show that on camera, should I? Right. I know Holley made a list. Oh, it might be in here. Yes. There it is. I've got a mess to tidy up now. Right, let's go back. Dum dum dum. Right, we can do this properly now. I need to plug you back into the world as well. Hang on a second. So unprofessional. Honestly, if I had like a producer or someone to actually help, it'd be good. Oh, what happened there? That's not good, is it? Okay. There we go. I'm back. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. That's about right, isn't it? You can just see the Forge calendar there, look, with the strategic brake cleaner, because there's part of that calendar image that can't go on YouTube at all, ever, said Mr. YouTube man. Right. Oh, what have we got? Well, the bike needs a lot of work, and in hindsight, if it was being done as a normal job, the sad thing is it's only about 3 years old. It's done, I think, 14,000 kilometers from memory. It would just be scrapped. If you took it to a bike shop, it just wouldn't be worth fixing. But what I do here in the workshop here, making the videos for people, is quite a different environment. The parameters are very different. You know, my labor's free. I do it because I enjoy it. Holley's going to give me a hand doing various jobs. She's certainly got a caliper to rebuild and chain and sprocket kit to fit and stuff. There's heaps of things that she can do on that bike, and they'll make great videos, I'm sure. So, you know, you can see where I'm coming from. It's not the normal. Plus, you know, I get the parts very cheap, to be honest. My friends look after me tremendously well. Although, saying that, overall, all of the parts, apart from the tyre, which I've already got in stock, I've spent about $1,000 so far on bits and pieces. So obviously, if that was retail, you'd be looking at probably $2,500 in bits, and just go and buy another bike, wouldn't you? To be honest. Anyway, let's see what we've got. So we'll bring the trolley across. Trying to get organised now. Let's just bring the camera down a little bit. There we go. How's that? Is that going to work? That might work. Right. Don't need those at the moment. Holley's not coming until Friday, so they'll go back in the cupboard. Okay, so it says on here, what have we got? Chain and sprocket kit. Right. So, geez, we have a chain and sprocket kit. Obviously, quality stuff. DID, they are, look. And JT sprockets. That's a great kit. Again, a lot of the aftermarket stuff that I got was supplied by Derby Accessories up in Auckland. Not a sponsor. They do support me a lot. They're also a customer of mine. I supply them some certain stuff, and you know, we do good deals. Now, what else have we got? Where's the list? Hang on, jump the gun, Andy. Rear wheel bearings. Jeez, I don't know. Maybe have we got rear wheel bearings in my little box? There's all sorts of stuff. I did see some bearings. Ah, yes, right. Okay, I think they're the rear wheel bearings. There, look. There you go. And that's the part number. If you need rear wheel bearings for DR200, there's a part number. These are not genuine parts. These are R-Trax. Quality hard parts. Look at that. And of course, if you know the bearing numbers, you can just go to any bearing supplier and get them normally. Right, let's make a pile. Try and keep your socks clean. What else is there? There's my list. Jeez. Need a bigger bench. Brake shoes. Yes, we've got brake shoes. There you go, look. Vestra brake shoes. Quality product again. There's some part numbers. Cheap as chips. Vestra number VB302S. Brilliant. Right, what else have we got? It definitely needs a rear tire. Rear tire shot. That's obviously not in this box. That's in the other shed. Rear suspension, linkage, bushes. You've got to mention bushes on there. So, I don't know. Hang on, we've got some other. There, right. There we are. And this is all balls. And there's your part number there, look. So we've got those. I know all balls are a bit hit and miss, but hey, it is only a DR200 and it's you know, they'll do the trick. So we've got those. That'll be a video all on its own. I think what we're going to do is lots of short videos. I say short, you know what my videos are like, but we're only going to do one repair per video. And some of the repairs I've already done on a previous DR200 that was for Tool Girl Lilli, like steering head bearings, so I don't need to redo that video. Plus, that's quite a big job, actually, to be fair. Now, what else have we got? Steering head bearings. What the hell? I'm wrong. Those are the swing arm bearings. That's what they are. And this, by the looks of it, is for the suspension linkage. So that's the suspension linkage bearings there. Look, there's a part number. All bought, yes. Duh. Linkage bearing kit Suzuki. Okay, and it fits all sorts of stuff. Cool. Okay, so we've got those. What was next? Swing arm bearings, we've got those. That's great. Steering head bearings, yes, seen those. So R-Trax again, there we go, look, part number. And I'll be covering all this, the various parts will be shown again in the separate videos. Front caliper rebuild and pads. Pads we didn't get, we thought we'd wing it. But the rebuild kit I picked up the other day, genuine, yeah, Simon, got one. Genuine part, got a good deal on it. There you go, look, part number. So inside there is, they know how to charge, don't they? A piston and 2 little seals, and that's it. And the retail for that was about $90. I think I paid about $60 for it. So, yeah, I know, just the way it is, isn't it? You spend the money. Right, front wheel bearings. Pretty sure I saw those in here somewhere. I know, there we are, look. Front wheel bearings, there we go, look, all tracks again. R-Trax, there's the part number. Bloody hell. Right, what else have we got? Front brake disc, I've seen that somewhere. Yes, we've got that. Right, I'll make sure I've got everything for the job for next week, you see. So we've got the front brake disc, very posh, smart disc for a bloody DR200, isn't it? Bit over the top, could have gone for a more basic one. And we've got to do something with the seat. Well, that's going to happen at some point in the future. Probably the last thing to get done. Gear selector. Got a second-hand one off another bike. Foot pegs. Yes. Now, the foot pegs are in all sorts of bits and pieces. So we've got, geez, there's like little stalky bits in there. Look, part numbers. I'll do all the part numbers and stuff on the real videos, but we've got the foot pegs. Got the other foot peg. Not cheap, may I add. So there's lots of bits and pieces in here, all to do with the foot pegs. There's another little perchy thing there, look. That the foot peg mounts to it. Because there's like a rubber bush to take out the vibration for the rider. It's very posh. Even got the pins, look. Even got new pins. Because everything on those old foot pegs is worn, so they sag right down. It's not ideal. Left-hand side stand complete. Well, zing! We have a brand new side stand. No expense spared behind the mechanic shop at the moment. And it comes, and we also got new foot peg brackets. So there you go, there's a new bracket there. This was probably the most expensive part, to be honest. I think it's a modified part just for the farm bike, because they have a a stand on both sides. Brake light switch. Didn't get one of those. Clutch lever and perch. Didn't get one of those. Need to order those. Battery. Got one of those. That's on. Well, it's not on charge yet. It's still in the box. Full service kit. Well, I've already got the spark plugs in stock, and there's an oil filter. That's about it, really, isn't it? And rear wheel spokes. I do have a donor bike. I think I threw away the rear wheel for Lilli's bike that I took the spokes out of. I think that's already been junked. So I'll have to steal a couple of spokes out of the rear wheel on the donor bike, or just swap the whole wheel. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, so I need a brake light switch and a clutch lever and a perch. That's what I'm missing. So it was good to go through it all, wasn't it? And have you noticed? Shit, I'm always dropping stuff. Have you noticed I've not yet had a cigarette this morning? Well, I had one off camera before we started. I'm not going to lie to you, because you guys will know what's going on. Right. Okay, that's that. Let me grab these bearings that I dropped. Okay, so we've done that. I'm pleased that I did, because this will be the only time that I'd actually spend to go through that kind of thing. Otherwise, Holley would have got here and would have realised we were missing stuff. It might be that I've got a clutch lever and a perch on the donor bike, so it may just be a brake light switch, and they're pretty generic, so I can easily get one of those. Not a problem. Right, where are we? Oh my word, few to catch up with. So yes, Michael, the lovely Tool Girl Holley, we're back in the workshop on Saturday. And I think she'll join me for the live stream, certainly part of the live stream on the Sunday morning. If we do a live stream, I might not do a live stream next Sunday, because since Holley's around. Okay, no, what I'll do is I'll do a live stream. I will do a live stream, because we like doing those. I'll do a live stream, and Holley can join us for sort of the last 10 minutes. But we don't know what when the last 10 minutes will be. Because then once she's on site, we really need to get on and do the videos while she's here. It costs an awful lot of money to have her down here, so we've got to really be quite productive while she's on site. We won't be doing a Lego build or a Meccano build on the Saturday night. I think that was, we've done that now, and I think it's important that she has a bit of downtime, because she gets extremely tired. Because we work flat out, there's no stop. It's just take after take after take, and we just motor through the videos. And it's pretty full on, to be honest. It's different for me, because that's how I work in the workshop anyway. I'm always flat out, but it's not really fair on her, to be honest. We've got to make it fair for her. VR6 Caddy, laughing my ass off. Think they will show up a lot more dirt. Oh, you mean the boots? You mean these? These are great. Look, white down surface. Doesn't need to use steps because they're nice and high. They're perfect, honestly. She already has a very similar pair, but they're only like ankle boots. So I thought, well, to improve the safety further, make them a bit taller. And then more of a leg has got an additional protective layer over it. Anyway, we joke. Now then, yeah, but the whole idea is that they get scuffed up in the workshop, because it's a workshop boot. Mike Brisansky, has the farm bike model ever been rebadged by other manufacturers? Not that I'm aware of. It's probably sold in Africa and stuff, maybe under a different name. I don't know. Other manufacturers do that sometimes. Often, these are built in Japan, by the way, because they've got J on the VIN number. But some farm bikes are made in China, so I believe. And the Chinese are a dab hand at copying them and then selling them under a different name, but they're essentially the same bike. That really upsets, normally, the original manufacturer and the people that have designed the bike. It does happen, though. Simon, speaking of wheelies, one of the local lads got a driving ban for wheeling past a cop car. What a bloke! I like him already. at over 100 miles an hour. The video from the cop car is awesome. Blink and you'll miss him. He's a legend in his own time. And that speeding ban, what he got given by the policeman, needs to be framed and put in the local pub. It does, in his favourite pub, up on the wall, because that's what you do with that kind of stuff. That is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, he was going to get potentially a ban for going over 100 miles an hour anyway. So do it in style, do it on one wheel. Why not? What a bloke. Do you know what bike he was on, Simon? That would be interesting. Jim K. Maybe Holley needs a pair of Alpine Star Tech 10s. Maybe she does. Let's have a little look. I can't visualize those. Alpine Star Tech 10. Oh yes, yes, she'd like those. Obviously, she can't. When the DR is all done, which shouldn't be too many weeks away, and I've got to fit it in around other jobs. She's going to take it down to Woodhill. Woodhill is an off-road track for dirt bikes and quad bikes and stuff, just outside Auckland, about an hour outside Auckland. So we're going to take the bike there. Hopefully, I really, really, really hope that Tool Girl Lilli's going to join us as well, and we'll take her DR200, which is the more trail version of the same bike, and the two girls can go off and have some fun that day, and I'll just follow them behind and take the GoPro, and we'll do a bit of filming, and of course they're going to fall off. As long as they don't hurt themselves, that's the important thing, and they can't wear their normal Tool Girl boots when riding motorcycles. That would not be safe. So you're quite right, some of those Alpine Star Techs will be absolutely brilliant. Bloody hell, they're not cheap. Shit. Thanks, Jim. It's a never-ending saga spending money on the channel. Funny though, we look after him. Oh, what have we got here? We've got another Shakil Ahmed. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Right. Hi, dear Mr. Andy. This Shakil Ahmed from Pakistan. So this is Shakil Ahmed, Pakistan. Hope you are fine. Good to see you on live chat. Great to have you on board, Ahmed. Shakil. There you go. Sorry, terrible. Shakil. Yes, we're here. It's Sunday morning here in New Zealand. We are actually in the future compared to most of the world. So you saw it first. Connor K. Good call on the I was waiting for Connor's. Good call on the easy, cleanable, high heel Tool Girl boots. Slips and falls are the #1 type of workplace injury. It's good to keep the girls off the ladders and stools. I agree completely. Feet firmly on the ground with built-in elevation. It's fantastic. Oh, I don't know any of that stuff. Sorry, Parsala. I don't understand. Scofab. Hey Andy, long time no see. Yes, I've not seen that name on the screen for a long time. Good to have you on board. Mike Bozansky. Any love in New Zealand for the KLR 650? Yes. That's a bulletproof old workhorse, the old KLR 650. There's a few of them around, not that many I've seen. Scofab, Lily's still on the bike? Well, Tool Girl Lilli's bike is actually back here just for storage at the moment. It's partly in bits, believe it or not. Like an idiot, I was filming with Tool Girl Holley a few months ago, and for some reason, we started the bike up. Whether we did any work on it, I can't remember. And I left the ignition on, flattened the battery. So to get the battery out of those things, you've got to take the seat off and side panels and bits and pieces. So at the moment, they're all off. The bike is currently outside with all the other bikes because this workshop's full on a nighttime with stuff. And when Lily has somewhere to store the bike, it will go back up to Auckland. We'll get it. We'll get a warrant of fitness put on it. The Regio's currently on hold. We'll get some Regio for it because it is actually Lily's bike is actually a fully road legal bike, whereas this one is just a farm bike. It's only got a farm Regio, so it can't go on a public road for any great distance. But that's all right because we're just going to ride it off road. It's not a problem. So hopefully Lily will actually get on the bike and actually start to ride it on the road. But I think she's a bit scared, to be honest. She keeps putting it off. I don't know why. Now then, John Dyer. Andy, you should get a pair of boots for yourself. I'm not going to answer that, John. It'd be unprofessional of me. Simon Roll. I'll send you the vid. The bike was an R1. Yes, yes, it had to be an R1, didn't it? And to be fair, he could have been good. He could have actually done it a lot faster than 100 mile an hour, but 100 mile an hour takes some pretty serious balls. The fastest I've ever pulled a wheelie on was probably about 50 mile an hour, about half that. And it was my Honda XR 400R. And I fell off. I did. It got too vertical, couldn't get it back. I was in fourth gear at that point, and I just had to step off the back of the bike and let it go, and it cartwheeled. Poor bike cartwheeled down the gravel road, bent all the rear subframe. I got up. I was only wearing a rugby shirt. I was wearing a crash helmet. It was a piss pot helmet, a rugby shirt, and a pair of jeans and some walking boots at the time. And I'm not kidding. I had numerous holes in my back, streaming blood. Both my elbows were blown out. I had blood all over the place. Knees, they were all bleeding as well, because gravel roads are not particularly friendly when you fall off. And everything hurt. And I had Ben with me, my little lad. He wasn't on the bike at the time, fortunately, because I wouldn't have been that stupid. But I couldn't lose face. I had to get up, start the bike, and it was kickstart only. Start the bike, get Ben on, and ride back. It did still ride, fortunately. Everything was a bit bent. But I rode back to the farm and then just sat and bled. It was horrible. Yeah. Mrs. Mechanic thought I was going to die. There was so much blood. It was like a zombie apocalypse had struck. Anyway, Simon Royal took 2 years to get into court. 2 years. So, but I suppose it was an immediate ban, was it? So, I don't know. 2 years. You can't be off the road for 2 years, surely. Scofab, busy days. Just got the fall plantings in, so I've missed out on what's been going on. Helmet still working out. It is, yes. Lily still has the helmet. She was very, very pleased with that helmet, and she will be wearing it again when she's riding the bike, that's for sure. She does, I believe she has a road bike helmet, because she was going to borrow another bike from me ages and ages ago. So I got her a helmet for that. But it's not the kind of helmet you'd wear in an off-road environment. The one that you got her, she really, really likes. And remember she wrote her name on the side of it. I think she put your name on the side, actually. So yeah, she's definitely still got it, and she'll definitely still wear it, and hopefully it'll be in that video of going to Woodhill. But I have to twist her arm. I don't know if she's going to go or not yet. It's not confirmed. She's not an official Tool Girl anymore, unfortunately. This is part of the problem. But I might be able to convince her for one last video. Duke of the Dales. I've had to reorganize a friend's garage because he was inspired by your racking. I think he was hoping the Tool Girls will turn up. That's brilliant. Well, first of all, Duke of the Dales, I'm sorry I've caused you all that extra work. But no, it's great. It's great that people think that, I'll see that what I've done here is an inspiration to them, because believe it or not, it works really, really well. I'm very, the more that it's done now, the more that I work in this workshop, the more I appreciate the time that I put in to do the design that I thought was going to work. And it does, it works brilliantly. And it hasn't fallen down yet. And there's been no creaks. And we've also got, let me just show you, hang on. Get rid of that. It's terrible, terrible habit. Don't smoke, kids, honestly. Very expensive. Right, so turn you around again then. So, yes, we've got the racking. You've all seen the racking. I'm not going to bore you with that. But, in the rafters, we've got quite a lot of timber at the moment. And that's the timber that I'm using for the carport. That's just the noggins. It's not the actual structural timber, obviously. It's just there to support the roof. Well, not to support the roof, for the actual roofing to lay on. But there's been an additional layer. I was going to put plywood on top first of all, because I want to be able to walk on the roof. That'll make it a lot easier for when I come to re-roof the actual workshop. We'll have a big platform we can use for all the stuff, basically. And it's all been built to withstand that kind of weight, to be used as a working area, an elevated working area on top of the carport. And I was going to buy some plywood. So I thought, okay, 3/4 inch marine ply should be sufficient. I priced it up, and it's about $160 a sheet, and I would need 18 sheets to cover the carport roof. That's a substantial amount of money. And I thought, man, that's just too much. So I was looking around to see what alternatives there were. And in New Zealand, they sell a lot of decking planks, a hell of a lot of decking planks. And they're actually only about $1.50 a meter, and they're just under 100 mil wide. So I priced it all up, and by the square meter, that's about half the price. So we're actually going to put decking planks, or maybe even just normal treated planks of wood up there instead of plywood. If it's cheaper and it's going to be thicker, then why not? So that's the plan. So I've got to buy a lot more timber. And then I've got a deck to build outside the back of the house, and then I've got another carport to build on this side of the workshop. And this one is where I'm going to be using to spray the underseal and stuff and work on the ROVs. So I can get so far, the vehicle can be immobile, it doesn't need to come into the workshop on a night time, that kind of stuff. Plus, if it rains, and it rains a lot in New Zealand, especially during winter, I don't get wet, because I'm getting a bit old now for getting wet while I'm working on vehicles. I'm getting soft. But anyway, there you go. GoFab, good deal. It was a really good deal. VR6 Caddy, looking at a 1953 BSA C10 250cc. Is that a two-stroke? I don't know. Converted into a bobber, nice. What would be a good buy? What would be a good buy, and what would you expect to pay for one in really good condition? Oh, geez. Well, first of all, a completely original bike has got to be worth more money. It's been bobtailed, so that's going to go against it to some extent, especially if there's been any structural changes, which there probably has been. They probably got the angle grinder to it and cut a few bits off and lowered things in bits and pieces on the frame. Over here, it would still fetch a lot of money. BSAs are very, very sought after in New Zealand. They're obviously a collector's bike. But with it not being original, that's going to affect its overall value. What will you pay? I mean, bikes, I don't know. I actually don't know what somebody will pay. It's really who you find. It's finding the right buyer. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't put a figure on it, but it's obviously going to be a really nice bike. If you want to send me some pictures on an email, that would be great. And I can ask a few of my biker buddies and that are in the trade and see what they think it's worth. Definitely. Duke of the Dales, brilliant idea with the decking planks on the roof. Don't forget to put a table and chairs up there too. You can laugh. We actually have a couple of roof tents that we brought to New Zealand on the roof of the Nissan Patrol. That was what we lived in for 3 weeks when we were in Europe. And it was down to minus 15 in Romania. So it was very, very cold, lots of snow around. And I was speaking to Eloise, she was down the other day, my youngest daughter, and I said, how would you like me to put the roof tents up on top of the carport? So when you come down in the summertime, you can sort of camp up there. Rather than be in the house, you can have your own space and you can camp on top of the carport. The only covenant was that she needs to remember that she's actually on top of a carport in the morning when she wakes up, because Eloise, when she was a little kid, she fell out of a top bunk and she landed very badly on a doll's house. It was a wooden doll's house. It wasn't going to break. And she broke her wrist. Well, actually, she broke her arm. And I'll never forget, she came running through into the bedroom middle of the night and she's like, oh, my arm hurts, my arm hurts. And we didn't know she'd fallen out of the bunk bed. She just said her arm hurts. It was, oh, just go back to bed, you'll be fine. And anyway, she went back to bed and went to sleep. And in the morning, she came through and her arm had all swollen up and stuff. She's like, my arm still hurts, Daddy. And we're like, holy shit, what happened? Oh, I fell out of the bunk bed. Okay, hospital time. So, yeah, I sent my child back to bed with a broken arm. I didn't know it was broken. I'm terrible. I really am. But Mrs. Mechanic was just as bad. We were so tired that night. Don't ask what we've been doing. Anyway, VR6 Caddy, it's at 1,500 euros. Just buy it. Bloody hell, that's cheap. That is really cheap. Buy it. Especially if you've still got all the original parts that were taken off the bike to make it into a bobber, when it was made. So if you've still got the original parts as well, that's definitely going to add value to the bike. John Dyer, sounds like you're really building in the second workshop. There will be a second workshop eventually at some point. That's the plan. But spoiler alert, Mrs. Mechanic wants to go and live in the South Island. She's given me a 5-year plan. She wants to get out of this village and a bigger house. So I said, look, I don't know. If we do buy a bit of land in the South Island and build something, then chances are it'll only have a shed on it and there'll be a caravan. And you'll be living in a caravan for a fair few years. We won't sell this place. Obviously, this is my workshop. I'm not going to sell it now. I spent so long doing it. But the second workshop that I'm going to build will probably be, well, it will be down in the South Island if all goes to plan. And then, because of my job, obviously I'm in the North Island for probably half the time and in the South Island for maybe half the time. So I'll be able to film in the 2 different workshops and I'll have a lot more space and I can do different projects in each workshop. It's a bit extravagant, I know, but she really has a heart set on moving to the South Island. And I really, well, we made a pledge that we would never sell this house. And that's one of the reasons why I've done so much work in this particular workshop. This is the only workshop that I've actually ever owned. Everywhere else has always been rented. So any work that you do, you tend to give it up when you leave. And I don't like that. So that's why I've done all this work. And I will never sell this place. No chance. VR6 Caddy, check out the auction site, Katawiki, European equivalent of eBay, with some amazing bikes on there. I will. Ben would be really impressed by that because I think he's looking around for another TDR250 at the moment. VR6 Caddy, link to the bike. The link didn't come through. If you want to email me the link, andymechanic@live.co.uk, I can definitely go from there on that one. Skullfab, maybe you covered it already, but how is it going down there with all the COVID-19 BS? Well, New Zealand overall, we've had it extremely lucky in this country. We really have. I mean, once we got out of lockdown, we pretty much eradicated the COVID in this country. And then the government decided to allow people to come back into the country that had either residency or citizenship on the agreement that they abided by a 14-day quarantine. Unfortunately, the minority of those people didn't abide by that 14-day quarantine and they escaped. There was even a case of somebody, a normal civilian, not in quarantine, actually broke in to a quarantine establishment and then caught it. Basically, the minority are spoiling it for the rest of us. And there are now, or there were up until recently, community cases again in Auckland. And they had to go back into lockdown level 2 in Auckland, and was it level 3 for the rest of the country? I actually can't really remember anymore. Or level 1, sorry. Level 1 for the rest of the country. And 2 in Auckland, I think it was. I just don't know. You couldn't get in and out of Auckland anyway, not without a permit. You couldn't even drive into the Auckland area. It wasn't just Auckland City, it was the super city known as Auckland, which goes right up to Wellsford and as far south as like Pukekohe and to each coastline. So it chopped the North Island basically into 3. You had the upper North Island, and then you had the area that you couldn't go if you didn't live there. And then you had the lower part. So again, I was stuck at home basically. Couldn't go anywhere. It was crap. But things are a lot better again now, but there are still cases around. But I think they have tightened up, which they shouldn't have needed to. But I'd put anybody coming into the country under military guard for 2 weeks. That'll make sure the bloody stay there, won't it? Because it's just costing us too much. Simon Roll, happy wife, happy life. Mrs. Mechanic is happy. She's doing all right. She was very, very good in the workshop yesterday. She worked like a trooper, really hard. And, I only have limited amount of time to do this kind of stuff. And these are big projects for me. And time dependent. And it's already late. It should have gone out over a week ago. Scofab, and what time is it down there? It is 9:38 on Sunday morning. John Dyer, long-term plan in the making. It is, and it's not going to be cheap. This is the problem. So I have to start saving up. But I have lots of other things to do first. So I don't know if it's going to happen or not, to be honest. And I don't even know where the piece of land is that we buy. We certainly can't afford to buy another house down there, that's for sure. So she'd have to live in a caravan for a while, which is not ideal. It's not what I want for her, to be honest. Anyway, and I'm not a qualified builder, so I couldn't just build my own house. I could try, but it'd probably just look like a big shed. But most of New Zealand houses are big sheds, aren't they? Maybe I'll have to look at building something that's the most basic, and just focus on the requirements for that kind of building. We'll have to see. I don't know. Scofab, still 6:30 in Japan. Sunday. Yay! STB. 6:30 in the morning. Holy crap. That's dedication for you, is that? VR6 Caddy, will do. Scofab, straight to beer. It would be nice if I could go straight to beer right now, but I've got a very busy day coming up. Although, to be fair, I could make it a really busy day, but I am actually really tired this week. I had a long day in the workshop yesterday, and that project for me now is finished. Making those suspension braces. It's just Mrs. Mechanic now that needs to finish all the painting. So that I've done my bit. I've got 2 ROVs to strip now to get ready for underseal. Oh, man, never ends. Whereabouts in the South Island are you thinking? Oh, it's going to be South Island. It's probably going to be down... well, she'd like Queenstown, but man, you can't buy land around there. It'd be way too expensive. Maybe Cromwell. Even Wanaka's expensive. Maybe Alexandria, maybe up there somewhere. Again, all expensive places to buy land, and as every year goes by, it's going up big time. Cheaper areas, Balclutha, Gore, maybe outside Dunedin. I just don't know yet. I've not really thought about where. That's really down for Mrs. Mechanic to do the research, to be honest. We'll have to wait and see, but certainly the southern part, I really like the southern area. The only other area that I like is around the Hammer Springs area, but again, that's like a national park area. Trying to get some land bought around there will be crazy expensive. Don't want to live around Nelson. That's a long drive to anywhere. I do like the Hammer Springs side of it, because then there's the Molesworth that we can go on, which is it's a really long gravel road that runs right up north, basically almost to Picton, or Blenheim at least. Yeah, it's quite good fun around there. And I've got 3 quad bikes that are all road legal, so we could actually go up there as a family and go on, and then there's Rainbows as well, Rainbows route, which would be pretty cool. So either around the Hammer Springs area, it wouldn't need to be in Hammer Springs, just somewhere in that kind of area that's got reasonable access. I mean, Hammer Springs would be perfect because you could ride straight out of your garage and go up the Molesworth. But it is only open for certain parts of the year. But we'll see. I don't know. It's very much early days at the moment. John Dyer, build your own place in the South Island. That would be nice. I'd have to do a lot more research and probably do a course on building, which I really probably haven't got time to do. Mike Bosansky, too many hobbits in the South. That's not very nice. VR6 Caddy, email sent. Cheers, matey. I will check it out. John Dyer, design all yourself. Yeah, of course I would do. Yeah, without a doubt. I've built plenty of buildings before, just not houses. Scofab, do they have any good prefab houses there you could assemble yourself? That's a very good point. That might be a good starting point just to get us in there. The only problem is everything to do with housing is ridiculously expensive in New Zealand. But we could use this house as collateral and borrow against it, I suppose. We'll see. I just need to get paid more money. That would be nice. Scofab, do you have any... Oh, sorry. John Dyer, with Mrs. Mechanic's input. Yeah, of course. She would have a lot of input, to be honest. She'd be the one living there for the majority of the time, not me. I'm always on the road. When things get back to normal, I really, really have a lot of driving to do. In actual fact, I really should get back out on the road next week, but I've got too much to do. I really have. And the dealers are all okay. They're all right. So, what else have I got for you? I think I've exhausted everything at the moment that I wanted to cover on today's live stream. You're all aware of Jared's buggy, which, if I just turn the camera around again, yeah, look, it really is a buggy, believe it or not. It's just a pile of bits at the moment, but yeah, that. Oh, and I've got some more drawers. They were actually, I had them, where we are, those there, look, I had them in my ute as my toolbox. But, so I took out my 10 tools toolbox, which is now back in the ute again. Problem was, they rattled too much, and they had to be inside the cab. They were basically, I folded the back seat up. It's a double cab ute. Folded the back seat up, and that's where I keep my toolbox for security and to keep everything dry. And I put up with it for about a month and tried various bits and pieces, and it wasn't the tools themselves that rattled, it was the actual drawers. So after a month of rattling around the country, I decided enough's enough, put the toolbox back in, and they're now for the workshop. So I've actually got 2 sets of drawers. There's one already on the racking down there, and I've got to find a home for those. I don't know where it's going to go yet. I might be able to move the air compressor across a little bit and squeeze them on the end of the bench over there, just temporarily. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I think maybe the light might be too low. Can't be asked to move the light again. Anyway, we'll work it out. I'll find a home for them. Simon needs an NS. No, it doesn't. Stop it. It's for kids to drive. It's not for us adults. It's going to get a little 8 horsepower Briggs and Stratton, and Jared is adamant about that. We're not allowed to put anything high performance in it. And in all honesty, the little tiny frame will not take anything too powerful anyway. It'll just tear it up, to be honest. Scofab, well, all the best to you and your family, and to the Tool Girls. Stay safe and happy. Of course, Scofab, of course we will. And really appreciate you coming back onto the live stream. And I hope you've got that calendar nice and safe over in Japan, because they're pretty rare. I'm not sure if we're going to do another one this year. If we do one this year, I'm going to go about it completely differently. It's going to be a downloadable calendar. That's the plan. So I'm still going to pay for the design, and there's lots of new photos. So Holley's coming down again next weekend, so we'll get some more. We'll do another photo shoot in the workshop. There'll be lots more new photos to go into it. We'll get a digital calendar built up. You'll be able to make a donation to the channel, download it. It'll be nominal. It'll be up to you what you donate. Although I think I might set a minimum value. And then you can download it and get it printed, at your local printers. I mean, anywhere can print it out. You just have to take in the file and be able to print it and make it into a calendar for you. So I think that's probably the best way. It eliminates any kind of postage costs, and the postage was the killer. Actually physically getting a calendar to different places in the world is actually really expensive at the moment. So I think we'll do one online. I think that would work a lot better. The website is coming on. We've got to the first stage. I just need to submit a ton of information to the web designers so they can actually make a start. Should have done that 3 weeks ago. Haven't had time to sit down and work it all out yet. I'm terrible. I really am. Scofab, calendar is hanging right behind me. Excellent. That's what I like to hear. John Dyer, 12-volt motor. No, it's got to be a petrol powered. That's part of the brief. He wants to stay old school. We're not going to go electric. Plus, I think overall cheaper and more in line with what I do, really. Connor K, have you thought about building a house made from multiple cargo containers? Yes, we have actually. They are becoming more popular. If we were to do that, and that's a brilliant idea, I could build the first module here at this site, get it all done and ready, because it's a lot easier to build it when you've got a workshop right next to it, and then just get it taken down and delivered. And then I could build another module here and send that down. That would be a fantastic way of doing it. I don't think the freight would be horrifically expensive, and I'll be able to knock them out a bit quicker as well. So Connor, brilliant idea, and something which I will seriously consider. And they are very popular in New Zealand. Quite a few people have done that kind of thing, and I think you can even buy them already done actually as well. Simon, you can get a centrifugal clutch to fit the Briggs and Stratton engines, cheap too. Yes, Simon, if you know where to get one from, can you let me know? Because I know Jared has been struggling to source a centrifugal clutch here in New Zealand. So it may well be we need to order one from abroad. And obviously sooner rather than the better, so we can get it on the way. So yeah, if you want to flick me an email through and if you know, and let me know what you know and who can supply, then that would be really cool. Very helpful actually. Simon, it has a chain output on the clutch too. I'm pretty sure that's the kind of setup it had before, because it is chain drive. It's got a big ass sprocket on the rear axle. I can see it from here actually. Excellent stuff. Well, without trying to lose the inertia of our live stream, this is very casual. I do like it. It means that I don't have to do any work when I'm talking to you guys. It's good. And by the way, every single muscle in my body is aching this morning from this last week. I'm not 100% at the moment. I know that. Oh, revelation. One last thing. The ponytail, there you go, look. Looking a bit scruffy today, is staying. Yep, I went to work, ponytail and all. And other than Wendy giving me a little smirk, I wasn't too sure why, nobody took the piss. So it's down to you guys, really. What I have found, just giving you a bit of male feedback, is it's actually very beneficial in the workshop. It keeps all my hair out my eyes, and I don't have hair. I don't have to keep tucking my hair under my cap whenever I'm working, and because I'm always constantly swapping between welding helmet, grinding helmet, and cap and stuff. And it becomes a bit of a problem, and my hair tends to stay a bit cleaner as well, which is good. So there you go. Andy Mechanic has a ponytail. And no, I'm not making it a man bun. I just can't. I'm not doing that. I'm not going down that route. So it is the way it is, and I don't know how long it's going to grow. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? But I've been watching the Vikings series on Netflix, and I am actually part Viking. I don't know by how much, but obviously, I am from York, and York was the first Viking stronghold when they invaded our England, and as the saying goes, they raped and pillaged. So I'm pretty sure there's some Viking in our family, and of course, the Viking warriors all have ponytails. So if they can have one, so can I. Anyway. What's the bore of the output shaft? Do you mean the bore? I don't know. I haven't got the engine. I don't know, Simon. Jared's still buying the engine at this point in time, so I will no doubt, as that project gets going, and it's on the back burner at the moment, but it is going to happen. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be quite a lot of fun compared to some of the engineering projects that I have to do. I will obviously keep you guys informed and let you know as things go along, and I can answer those kind of questions once I've got what I need. So, Scofab, Amazon has a ton of go-kart clutches. That's good to know. I want to make sure we get a good quality one, because the cheap ones tend not to be very good. Don't tend to last very long. John Tyson, just don't roll it into a bun. Haha, there you go. I can guarantee it's not going to happen. So John, I'm on board. There's no man buns in this workshop, that's for sure. Mike Basansky, I'm going bald, so I just shave it all off. Well, that's another reason, to be honest, Mike. I will no doubt go bald at some point. The hair is thinning a little bit on top, but at the moment it's all right. So, whilst you've got it, I'm happy to grow it. But once I start to thin out big time on the top, then I'll just shave the whole thing off. So I can just make use of it while I've got it. It's all good. Scofab, many options. Yeah, many options. Knut Barnson. Hey, Andy, Viking blood here also. Awesome, mate. Awesome. I do like the idea of a bit of Viking in me. That came out wrong. Okay. Right. What else? Done the buggy updates. There isn't any really updates other than the engine side of it. Looking forward to doing it. Got lots of work ahead of me. I picked up 4 boxes of Underseal from 3M earlier in the week. I'm looking at it right now, and I'm dreading doing it. I really am. I keep putting it off, and it has to be done. Those 2 ROVs that are on the trailer now have to be undersealed and back to Auckland Thursday morning. So it's got to happen. And believe it or not, I'll be picking 2 more up when I go and bringing those down for next weekend. But they won't be done next weekend because I'm filming with Holley. Obviously, they'll get delayed until later in the week. Scofab, my beard was about the size of yours, but it came off this summer too damned hot. Yeah, I tend to thin it out a lot during the summertime. In the winter, I just sort of trim it, and it's still pretty scruffy, to be honest. And Mrs. Mechanic keeps saying I need to shave all this bit off, but I don't know. It requires management, and I don't have time for management. Anyway, I think, ladies and gentlemen, if there are any ladies on here, I've not seen any comments from ladies, I don't think. I think we're at the end of our live stream. I really do. Any last questions before we sign off? John Tyson, my beard came off too damn grey. I don't mind the grey in the beard, to be honest. It's sort of a sign of, it's just the ink that's run out. That's all it is. It's nothing to worry about. Scofab, lol. Yeah, I did cut some big chunks off the other day, actually, because it was looking a bit Gandalfy. So, got to get rid of that. No good. Okay, crew. Well, that's it for this Sunday. Grey is wisdom. There you go. It sure is. Scofab, now take care. Catch you again later on, brother. Ross, I miss it. MG, bye Andy. Okay, crew, we've done it. That's it. The end of this particular live stream. We've covered all sorts of stuff. We've got Tool Girl Holley's bike to make a start on next weekend. Got nearly all the parts here, which is great. Ross, been to the pub. I can't go to the pub. You lucky sod, honestly. I'd love to go to the pub right now, especially an English pub with Walker's cheese onion crisps and port scratchings. Yeah. Anyway, such is life. I'm in New Zealand. Pubs here are not the same. Although there's plenty of pubs, they're just not the same as English pubs. All right, crew. Well, thank you very much for joining again. If you've not, or I can't even show you one of my mugs at the moment. If you've not been onto the Zazzle store yet and got yourself an Andy Mechanic mug, now's the time. There's a link in the description. Pop on there. There's loads of Andy Mechanic merch, and you can grab it online. If you do get something, it turns up, then send me a selfie through on an email, and you'll get yourself put into a draw to win some Teng tools, some Forge stuff, and of course some more Andy Mechanic merch, including a bespoke jacket that's fully embroidered just like mine. All right, chaps. Well, and also lastly, if you did, or when your toolbox sticker arrives, if you've ordered one of these, when it arrives, take a picture of your toolbox with the sticker on, send it through on an email, because I'm going to be redesigning or re-editing the new intro video for the Andy Mechanic videos. And I'm very tempted to put a few of those on there. I really am, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? Okay, that's it. Oh, what's this one? Hang on. Don't go away. We've got some more stuff. I'll have one for you next time. Cheers, mate. John Dyer. I'm a man of Kent, and my ponytail is down my back. Holy shit. I don't know if mine will grow that long. VR6 Caddy. Take it easy, Andy. Not Barsden, or Nut Barsden. Thanks, Andy. Okay, crew, that's it. I'll see you around next Sunday with Tool Girl Holly. She'll be joining us for the last few minutes of the live stream. Don't know what time that will be. She'll have to get herself out of bed first. All right, chaps. Thanks again. See you around. Cheers. Over and out.